Welcome to the S-Class Podcast, the highest tier in podcasting. Today I am joined by Justin and Ryan, and we're going to be taking a trip today to a little island called Animal Crossing. And what will we do on that island? I don't know. Justin, what's your island name?
Meruland.
Meruland.
After our favorite Umagan. Is there a lot of pressure for you guys when you open the game and it says name your island, you can never change this again? Because I felt a lot of anxiety.
I always just name it after where I live.
I chose Whole Cake.
Ryan, yours is Whole Cake?
Whole Cake Island. It's not going to be thematic as I dream of, but that's okay.
And
do you have any regrets about your island name, Ryan?
Well, maybe if I actually find a good design for like frosting and sprinkles and I can like just cover my ground with it, then I'll feel much better.
It's got to exist. They definitely have. I don't even have that power yet, but they got to have that.
Right. Well, I think all of us can say that we rank on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of commitment for Animal Crossing compared to some of the unbelievable islands that I've seen on the internet over the past couple months. Much
like my island.
Anyway.
Rob's Island is... Have you seen Rob's Island, Ryan? It's genuinely impressive.
Great.
My island is gorgeous.
So let me just put some context for viewers right now, is that you guys started back when the game came out in March, and I'm a cheap asshole, so I waited until it dropped by $10 to buy it. So I just started playing less than a month ago, maybe. So I'm still progressing through I just got my third room, but nothing's like nice. Like my house is a fucking shithole.
Wait. But here's what you're missing, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but all Nintendo games release for $50 anyway at Walmart at launch.
At Walmart. I didn't fucking know that, man.
Yeah. So you didn't have to wait.
Whatever, man. It is what it is at this point.
You know what?
No one warned me about that.
You know what's funny about this whole game, though? So I only played Animal Crossing back when it was for the DS, and there were many quality of life issues that have improved since. But I was never intending on picking up this game. But since Nintendo delayed it from its original launch, which was supposed to be last November, they saved it for when the countrywide lockdown started because of COVID, and this was probably the most well-timed video game release in history. I will argue.
Brilliant
they were
decision.
Lucky in that regard.
Yeah. Well, we don't know how much they actually predict.
Unless Ryan is suggesting that they created the virus in order to
Nintendo
grow Animal Crossing sales.
Virus.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but it's an interesting theory, Ryan. I appreciate it.
I'll go with it. Yeah, because
was it worth it? Yes.
Oh my gosh! The first month I played this game was just such a nice escape from the real world depression, and just I couldn't leave my house. So I would have never picked up this game if it weren't for the lockdown, and now I'm experiencing a relapse.
Rob, you made a really poignant statement when we were at the beach a few weeks ago, and you're just Rich was like, our friend Rich was like, I just can't get into Animal Crossing, and you're like, that's because you're not depressed, Rich. That's why me and Justin enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
and I was like, yes, that's true, but I don't understand why. Is it just the escapism?
Well, yeah. I mean, simply put, we have our real lives, which are terrible, and then we have our Animal Crossing lives, which are great.
My Animal Crossing life is terrible too, though.
No, not
but it's less terrible than your real life.
It can't get worse, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you actually see an improvement when you pay off your loans in Animal Crossing.
But then you're indebted to this shitty-ass Tanuki forever.
But there's
forever. No, I'm tired of the Tom Nook slander.
Yeah.
He's a filthy fucking...
He gives you interest-free loans. He gives you them at your own time. You could never pay it off if you wanted to and just keep what you have. He's a great man.
Yeah, Justin, I gotta say that I'm almost done with my final loan, and I respect the Tanuki.
Whose side are you on, Rob?
He literally lets you pick up grass and sell it to his children.
But he also makes you do all the construction and then charges you for it. He says, I want you to open up a new campsite. By the way, you have to make all of this furniture and put it on that person's house. But go get your own materials. Pay me $10,000 for the campsite.
Did you not have fun doing that?
I kind of did have fun, but I'm just saying that it's bad business practice.
Is it though? Because he's essentially giving you free reign over an entire island.
He's making you sort of the king, but he's the puppeteer.
Well, when you pay off your loan, you become the puppet master. And let's not forget, he's the one that brought Isabel to the island, who is just a gem.
Well, that is
do
very
love
important.
Isabel.
That is true. He did bring Isabel. And at
I
the end
haven't
of the
played
day,
since GameCube, so Isabel didn't exist, and I love Isabel. Isabel's amazing.
actually, you know what? Let's talk about that because you two are a little more fresh to the series. I'm a full-on vet. I've played all of them.
You played every single one, or just like the main series games? Because they're like, I was watching a video. There's like 5 or 6 of them, besides including the main series.
Well, I've played all the main series one except for the N64 Japanese only one.
Oh my god, I didn't even know they had one for N64.
It's basically the game. It was like remade into the GameCube one because it like launched on this N64 peripheral that like 3 people bought. So that was basically the GameCube game. Then the DS, the Wii, 3DS, and this one. And then there's 2 spin-offs which are god awful.
Yeah, the DS one, all I remember is that the villagers were kind of assholes. Tom Nook was much more harsh, and there was no Isabel. So I had to deal with this this bird lady who was like a bitch. You know who I'm talking about?
I do not recall the bird
purple,
lady.
Maybe she
the
was
pink bird, right? The pink bird with the lipstick.
Oh, for
Something
the
like
post
that.
office.
Yeah, and then she'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Parentheses, I really don't want to be here. Stop annoying me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember her.
She was the postal
Phyllis.
worker.
Was her name
Oh, I
Phyllis?
hated her.
Might have been Phyllis, yeah.
Phyllis.
Yeah. She was pretty miserable. But as I get older, I understand and respect
I
her misery.
appreciate her.
Yeah.
I don't. Isabel is. Anyway,
Oh my god, Isabel's a fucking gem.
I'm
Holy
just
shit.
happy how the quality of life has changed. Like, this game is so beautiful. And Rob, I think with the other games, like, this is the first one where you're really able to mold your landscape to your liking.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the 3DS one, like, there were these, like, town projects where you could fund something to be put outside, but they were, like, few and far between, and they were almost entirely random, so it was incredibly hard to get them. And now, like, you can put anything anywhere whenever you want, essentially, which is great. Not only that, and remold the land.
I will say the random nature of the game, especially, like, in the beginning, I did love time traveling a little bit to...
Oh, you're one of those people.
I mean, you have to. If I'm rush playing this game, I can't just play it in real time. I have to jump around time to move forward, which is a little annoying. But right now, because the new updates have been pretty nice, like with Red and the artwork,
Oh,
and
I
that
love
guy
Red.
never
Red's
comes.
great.
Oh, yeah,
He's
well...
once a week, I think.
No,
Right?
he comes... originally, he came, like, once a month, and then they, like, updated the game to make sure that they come, like, at least once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because it was
Yeah.
almost completely random at the start.
I
It was
also
just
remember
awful.
when he first launched, people weren't sure which were the real artworks and which were the fake. So if you have this guy who comes like once a month and you buy a fake artwork, you're just stuck with it. You can't even put it in your museum. You have to just put it on your island or sell it. That
You're
was
shit
a
out of
little
luck.
annoying.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I bought one fake and one real, but I'm kind of keeping the fake for myself because I kind of like it, and I'm going to donate the real one to the museum because it's for me. I think it just kind of looks nicer.
Well, if it's a statue of David, I'd love it. But if it's like a random piece of art, I'd just rather have it
Right.
in my museum for the completion. Because the museum in this game, it kind of pushed me to get it. It's just so beautiful.
The museum's beautiful, but I'm currently, so like at first I was donating everything. Like, I got a great white shark. Okay, fine, I'll give it to museum, even though it's worth 20,000. But I'm at the point now where I'm just like, fuck that stupid bird. I unlocked Red.
It's
He's
an
not
owl.
getting any what. Yeah,
Are you
whatever. He's a
implying
bird.
that owls
owl,
aren't
whatever.
birds? Owls are birds, Ryan.
I know, but like, just calling him a bird is like belittling him.
Whatever. Blathers,
He's-
the owl.
He's
That
trying
makes
to
you happier,
belittle him.
Ryan.
That's the point.
Fine, I'm sorry, Jerwin, go on.
Blathers, the shitty owl. He's not getting any more of my fucking money makers. Like, right now, my only priority is I'm gonna make my house and island as nice as I can, and it's like, where are you gonna spend most of your time? You're not gonna go to the museum that often.
Hard disagree.
Yep.
Really?
Same here.
Incredibly
I'll deal with
hard disagree on that.
Jay,
I
want
just
to
know
deal?
that I'm going to be in my house and around the island more than I'm going to be in the museum, and that's where I should spend my time and money. And then later on, if I'm going to continually play this game, I'm going to catch those fish and stuff later on so he can have them later.
I haven't gone inside my house in months,
Yeah. I mean,
but I'm in the museum
Really?
every day. Yeah.
I'm just starting to get into my house, but Jay Wang, all I'll say with the museum is that I just have to donate it once. And then no matter what, I still have to go to the museum to assess the fossils. So once I give him a new fossil, then I can just sell that one because I'll keep getting it over and over again. Like, the museum is a money maker.
I'm saying that no, I get it. You have to go get your things assessed. But what I'm saying is that if you collect a great white shark and you collect each fossil's, let's say $3,000 to $5,000, that's like easily several $100,000 that you're donating to Blathers that could be going towards your house, which I think is more important than your museum in the beginning.
But the rarity of a fossil is just give it to him once and then you'll always keep getting it. You only need to give him one of each fossil.
I get it, but what I'm saying is if you're going to keep getting it, you can just give it to him later when it's less important.
I mean, at the end of the day, the point of Animal Crossing is that there's no rules and you play it how you want to play. But objectively, you're wrong. This is not how you play the game.
I'm not going to let that shitty bird control my life. He's not going to. I'm going to. What?
It's an owl.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jay,
no, fuck him.
You haven't even met his sweetheart sister, who you meet at.
I have.
Oh.
Yeah, that bitch hasn't let any shooting stars fall for me yet.
I will
either.
say the shooting stars are annoying.
I'm sorry, are you insinuating that she controls when stars fall from the sky? You're blaming her for this?
Well, she is
Absolutely.
the signifier. Yeah.
When she's there should be shooting stars. But then she just comes over, and then there's no shooting stars, and it's like she's blue balling me.
She gives me a recipe for a tourist bathtub that I know in my lifetime I will never unlock.
I already have one.
Fuck you, Rob.
Fuck off, yeah. Fuck off, Rob.
Wait. Let's circle back for a second. So, normally on this podcast, we talk about like a synopsis of what we're talking about, and then we go into spoiler territory, and then we rank it. But since Animal Crossing has no purpose or story or anything, we're just spitballing here.
Okay, if someone has never played Animal Crossing and is still here after listening to us rant for 15 minutes, Animal Crossing, you get an island, you customize the island, you pay off your debt, you make your house bigger.
I mean,
continually do this.
There's nothing to say about Animal Crossing that could even be like a spoiler.
No, I get that. I'm just saying for an introduction to the game, if like you had to explain this to your girlfriend or someone who doesn't play video games, you know what I'm saying? I mean that's it. The entire economy runs off of selling fossils, fish, and bugs. Like it's a fucking weird game, but it's great.
But it works.
Yeah, I really like this one, especially with how creative you can be with building an island. That just adds a whole other layer that I've been enjoying once I pretty much paid off all my loans.
But Ryan, you dropped it for a bit, right?
I did. I played nonstop for like a month and a half, and I just hard dropped it. I was so done. And then
but you like hated it after dropping it.
I did. I thought back because you know what happened? The curse of comparing games. I went to Stardew. And that's just a whole different type of game that has like a little more structure in its scheduling. But then Jay Wang picked up Animal Crossing. I saw you guys sleep together in the same bed, and I got jealous. So then I picked it up again, and it really is a fantastic game. I was just bashing it because I haven't played it in a while, and I was salty about my uncompleted island, which was, by the way, it was interesting seeing how much about this game was being talked about on social media in lockdown, because like everyone was in the same place, but there were so many people who were complaining that there were a few good islands, and it was just everyone was bitching about how their island will never be as good as others. It was just funny.
Really? Sounds like a toxic environment.
But that's not the point of the game.
It's not.
I don't care if somebody has like a cool like island based off of the ancient city of Atlantis or something. Like, I like how my island looks. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, these kids
like it's my island.
The game. And they would spend real money on villagers. That was ridiculous.
That's
How do you
wild.
spend real money? How do you do that? What you just bribe somebody like, oh, I have this guy. Can I steal him from you? Type of thing. Like you can talk to him a bunch of
Yeah.
times or something.
Yep.
Essentially,
Okay.
yeah. But also like Nintendo made these like amiibo cards that could like if you put the amiibo card into the game, you could get that villager onto your island, but like the cards are so rare that like some of the popular villagers cards sell for like $30,
That's insane.
Got it. Okay.
which is
But-
insane.
And there's like 400 villagers, 500 villagers.
No,
I'm not
there's
sure
like
what the exact number
150.
is. No, that's Pokemon.
Oh. What was cool about this game too is that on social media there were even celebrities getting in on it, and I remember like Elijah Wood visited somebody's island for turnip prices. I guess turnips are like
That's
the
so
stock market
crazy.
in this game, but I've actually never diddled with the turnips.
I have
I'm
not
not
woken up early enough on a Sunday to play the tournament market.
It's never ever worth it, and it never works, and it always ends up leaving me hundreds of thousands of bells in debt.
Okay, good.
Really, I know people who live by the turnip market, and I was watching some videos. The amount that people sink into understanding this game's insane. There's like an online turnip tracker, like a real stock market tracker that tracks the trends. It's insanity.
Right. Well, when I first played this game, there was a bug where what I liked about this game too is how you can travel to a random island, get things from there to bring back to your island. But if you were to visit a random island, you could deplete it of all its resources so that only tarantulas would appear. Tarantulas in this game were very horrifying too. It took a while to get used to how to catch them, but there was a bug where you could deplete a random island of its resources and then only tarantulas would spawn, so that you could eventually have a full backpack full of tarantulas, and that's like about 1 million if you sell it to that lizard guy.
I've tried that actually. It's really difficult to do because there's always little fucking crickets and stuff jumping around.
Oh my god!
You
I
get
know.
scare
Right.
them
Well, this
away.
was before the season of the crickets and all that. I got in on it before Nintendo fixed it up. They added water
Okay.
bugs too.
Yeah, it makes it really difficult where it's like you're better off just going in and out of the island trying to capture
Right.
the Tarantula Island.
And people also underestimate the rocks. Like, I'm happy I looked up some tips about Animal Crossing in the beginning, like how there's always a money rock, iron nuggets.
You guys taught me about the money tree also.
The money tree.
Like the
Yeah, I
plant.
just picked up 30,000.
You guys know the money tree hack also, where there's a trend. It's like you have to check the
I mean,
trend on your specific game, or you can put 99,000 bells in, and it'll plant 99,000.
Yeah, it's based on a cycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1 day on, 2 days
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. But I'm testing that out now right now.
I
It was-
mean, I'm at the point where I don't need money, so I'm just kind of waiting for updates. And you know what? Actually, that gets me to my biggest issue with this game is the fact that it's updating. Like, as of now, this game probably has less content than any other Animal Crossing released before it.
Oh, really?
Any?
And that's, I mean, that's how it feels for me, personally, because right now, the game itself, well, no, at launch, 100% it did, because there were like maybe 8 NPCs in the entire game at that point. There's been a few added since. I mean, it's better now that they have diving.
I love the diving, by the way.
Yeah,
It's so slow. It's fine. It's a cool feature, but it's not optimized.
I mean, if you just hold A, like, you do get casually swimming, but it's all worth it for the otter. I'm actually trying to get the whole mermaid.
Oh, I love. Was it Pablo or something? I love the Pascal. Pascal the otter. He's adorable.
Because, you know, sea otters, they always have, like, this is in real life too, sea otters have a rock that they hold in their pouches.
In order to break the scallops or the oysters.
Right.
Sorry, Rob. Cut you off.
yeah, no, you entirely cut me off, and now I don't want to. I don't want to talk anymore.
No, we're sorry.
No,
No, you know what? Fuck
interrupted
it. It's
me.
fine. Fuck this guy. Ryan, can we jump back to what you were talking about? How you started hating this game a little bit?
Oh, yeah. This is just one of those games where in the quarantine, that's all I did. I just sunk so much time into it. The time traveling every day.
Hey, Justin, when did you get the game?
Last month, maybe, give or take. And
How's it going
Well,
for you?
I was gonna. The reason why I asked you why you hate it is because I think I'm starting to get to that point where it's kind of becoming toxic for me. So I'm just sort of like grinding now. I think in the beginning I was putting a lot of hours into it, and it was so much fun. And it was almost. I swear to God, this game is the most. It's the closest thing to drugs I can think of. Like, you know, when you do your dailies, that takes like hour and a half or something, right?
Yep.
And then after that, the return on investment's really low. Like, you can catch fish, you can catch bugs, but there's really not much you can do to progress unless you're just paying off your debt. But I just kept playing it. I paid like 4 or 5 hours a day to no avail. Like, you're not really doing anything. And then I'd be really late, and then I'd be so tired, and my eyes would hurt, and my fingers would go numb. And I was like, why am I still doing this? It's hard to put this down. And now I think I'm like kind of toxified by it, and I don't really get the enjoyment I enjoyed it earlier when I first got it.
It's weird because you're always chasing the first high of when you first started with the game, and you never ever get back to that.
Yeah, that's a good summation of it.
The game is never as good as when you first start playing it.
Very
And
true.
it gets progressively more mind-numbing and optimized, where you're essentially doing the exact same thing. But
how do I systemize this and do this as efficiently as possible?
absolutely, exactly.
That's kind of where you get to.
But you still derive some enjoyment out of it, which is the weird part. Like, I still enjoy, like, spending, like, 25 minutes playing the game, but, like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not accomplishing anything, and I certainly don't feel like I'm having fun.
I think this is what a heroin addict feels like. Like, you don't actually get the high, but you need it to sustain yourself or something. I don't know.
You're just hoping that, like, something in the game will spark that feeling you had, like, that first, like, week of playing it.
Yeah, but
I was,
Rob,
like,
you
scratching my
mastered
neck
it.
the other way. I was like, I just need a little bit. Give me like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You mastered the how to. I mean, I guess this is your experience with other games, but you eventually got to yourself to the point where you could just pick it up for 15 minutes to do like 1 or 2 daily chores, and that's it. Like that's optimal in my eyes. I can't do that, but that does make the game sound much more refreshing if you're just picking it up quickly, along with like the system of the Switch and how it's pick up and go.
Yeah, Switch being portable makes it much easier. Like, I'd say the game I fell off Animal Crossing with the quickest was the Wii one, and, you know, that was simply because I didn't really enjoy using the Wii as a system, and, you know, going through the hassle of taking over a TV and sitting there, and, you know, you just don't really enjoy it. The 3DS one I got a good investment on. I really enjoyed that one. I think that one, as of now, as an entire package, the 3DS game is better than this game, New Horizons. But I think eventually New Horizons will be the better game.
Yeah, I love
3DS is new.
It's not updated enough yet. I mean,
What are you missing? So for those of us who didn't play New Leaf, well, what features do you need to make this a better game?
So one of my favorite parts of New Leaf was there was a minigame island. That was a fun feature. There was the city. There were so many more buildings. That's actually, I'd say, by far my least favorite part of this game is the lack of buildings. You have your shop, and you have the tailor, and you have the museum, and that's
What
it.
are we missing in this game?
Oh, there's so many. Let's see. You had in the 3DS one, there was a shop for like. Well, I guess it's pointless with the DIYs now, but there was a shop where like they would customize furniture for you. There was a cafe. There was like a fortune teller
nice.
tent. Yeah, the cafe was really nice. And it was
the
it was just
fortune
cool to
teller.
have more buildings so that you could, you know, make the island feel or make your town feel a little more alive. Like, this just feels so empty.
It doesn't really feel that lived in, right?
No.
It feels like a village. It feels like 200 years behind, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and that's my big problem with it, is that as much customization as we have, the actual, like, residents and NPCs are not that interesting because there's not enough of them.
They get pretty stale.
There's not enough personality types, right? There's like 8 personality types, but then you have 3 people on your island who all just like working out, and it's like, well, shit, you're kind of the same person.
Well, here's also the issue with the personalities in this game, especially, is that there's a lot of repeated dialogue because the way this game is programmed, it seems like they spent a lot of time writing dialogue for events that rarely happen. So these villagers might have a lot of entertaining, interesting, unique dialogue, but you'll almost never see it.
Right.
So I just end up reading the exact same lines every day. And after, honestly, like 2 weeks with the game when it first came out, I was already like, okay, I feel like I've seen every single bit of dialogue from these villagers. This is insane.
Yeah, I can see that. I do like in this game, though, how, I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't play the other one as much, but I do like my island being built. Sometimes they'll water my plants. I see them chilling on the beach when I do a quick run around. I do like them interacting, but maybe that's just me being a newbie.
No, I like that. Raoul the penguin was barbecuing with this big chicken guy I have in the middle of the island the other day, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat.
Wait, you mean Rawled?
Raoul.
Rawled. It's definitely Rawled.
Raoul.
Roald Dahl?
You didn't like that I called him Raoul?
No, it's not his
Did that
name.
offend you?
His name is Rawled.
Raoul.
No, I will say, yes, I like that the villagers interact with the island more, but they don't interact with you enough, is the problem.
They just run up to you and say, I gotta give you something.
Well, actually,
that's about it.
also in the 3DS one, they would come over your house and like visit, and you could like schedule meetups with them, and it was cool. But like that's another feature that's gone.
I was getting kind of protective the other day. Like Lobo, the wolf, he was in my garden. I was like, what's this motherfucker doing in my garden? I'll fucking kill him. And he had a magnifying glass. I was like, all right, he's cool. He's fine.
Yeah, it was
but I was legitimately
looking
feeling
around.
like, what are you doing here? He's trespassing. He just came to my island and now he thinks he owns the place.
Well, do you
See,
have...
I wish mine would do that. I have benches all over the place. Nobody sits in them.
Jay-Wang, do you have a fence around your house? Because you can't really complain about being territorial if you don't establish your territory.
I have these two little fences, but he was in my flower bed. That's definitely my territory.
Was there a fence around your flower bed?
In the front, but he came through the side. He's a sneaky little bastard.
I think you're being a little snooty.
Yeah,
I
come
don't
on,
think.
Phyllis.
Do you guys have any other pros or cons that really drive it home for you?
For me, lately, I've been building up the Nook miles because I want more street lamps around my island and wind turbines in an area. So I like how they give you like these random little challenges on your Nook phone app that are like milestones, like donate 50 fossils or sell 300 fruits. And most of them just take time. But sometimes I'm like really close to one. Like I just have to plant 5 basic trees for like 2,000 Nook miles. All right.
Yeah,
Those
you
are
just
like
grind
little.
it out.
Those are little quality of life things that keep me going for now.
Those were, I guess those are good. But I remember in the beginning, like you said earlier, Rob, it's that high that you, because it was kind of a new feature for me. So in the beginning, I was like, oh shit, I get all these extra points for doing these things, and now it's like, all right, I'll go catch the 3 bugs. Okay, I'll go chop 10 trees. Like it's an empty feeling now.
Right, and eventually you run out of things to spend them on. Like right now, I have 60,000 because I haven't spent them on anything in months.
And I'm also like, what do I want to spend this on? Like, I could buy this thing that I don't have, but is this worth it for me? Probably not.
Well, Jay-Wang, for you, did you unlock the Nook Island customization app? Because eventually you can start buying bridges and inclines, which has been making my island much more fun.
I haven't unlocked KK yet. He hasn't come to my island, so I don't have the ability to build, but I do have the ability to create bridges. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I can't redo the entire island.
When you get to the point, like for me right now, I have enough money in my savings where I'm casually on my last loan, putting into that, but also like I'm designing the island, and it's like, I could put an incline here. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Like now I'm starting to move on to the next level of making my island more fun for me. But that's like building almost. And the building in this game, throughout the whole game, they make you take your time. You know what I mean? That's annoying.
Yeah. I think that the barrier to entry for some of these things is so high. Like it's like 200,000 for a nice bridge, where you're like, I better put this in the right. Like it's hard to like just play around. You know what I mean?
I
Well,
think that's
why I think
an
it's
issue of the fact that they designed it with a purpose that's not supposed to happen overnight.
Yep.
But that's not what people really want to do. People want these things, pretty quickly. The game is designed to be
I don't-
played over the course of 5 years, but nobody wants to wait 5 years to get everything out of the game that they want.
So that's my criticism, Rob. Going back to like when we were talking about it, or whoever brought up how I was bashing at the beach, the dialogue options, or the way your tool breaks and you have to build a new one. All of these things take time, and for me, taking a break and getting back into it, it was annoying as hell when I was like, "Oh, I forgot to go into my house to grab some iron nuggets."
Right.
And I do like how it makes me. The only time I really appreciate how they made me take my time is during the fishing. When I cast my line and I catch the fish's attention, I just close my eyes and hold my breath and wait for the sound. And that's like a nice little meditative blurb. But
so anxiety inducing, closing your eyes and all of a sudden your shoulders tense up once you hear the water splash.
no, just breathe. It's just as long as you have the volume up. But everything else in the game that makes you take your time pisses me off.
The talking, the building, like and certain things you can only sell one of, or like if you're moving items into storage, just do it single one at a time. When they have functionality to group select, but they don't give you the functionality.
How some items don't stack is why I really what made me go back to Stardew Valley for a little bit. And also the wardrobe. I have to buy if they have 3 coats that I love, different colors, I have to go into the wardrobe 3 different times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for as much quality of life changes that they made, they added a bunch of absolutely awful design choices.
So Rob, these design choices weren't prevalent in like New Leaf, the 3DS one?
Well, I mean, New Horizons was the DIYs. So, everything to do with the DIYs is a new issue. Like not being able to craft multiple items at the same time. That's a new issue. But certain things from the past are now issues. Like, we didn't have breakable tools. You just bought your tool, that was it. You didn't have to go back and forth rebuilding a tool for no reason. So that's a new issue. And that's clearly a design choice to make you do, the crafting, but it's not fun.
I like the idea of the flimsy ones, right? And then you feel like you're progressing. I think progression's always nice, where you're like, oh, I got a fancier tool, but it's like it only lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So it's annoying.
They were definitely involved with the Breath of the Wild team.
Oh my god.
Like, it's weird how Nintendo all of a sudden has a new generation of games where their tools and weapons break. You know?
It seems like they have a new generation of games where they just want us to waste time.
Well, it's working.
And we're going to complain all this, and we're still going to play. Like, as soon as this call's over, I'll probably pick up mine and just do my dailies for the day, and then complain about it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm at that point now where a good daily day for me is when I do a little deep sea diving, get a scallop, get a mermaid recipe from Pascal, and Red is on my island. That's pretty much it at this point.
You know, the funny
Rob,
thing
did you ever
is,
go through that phase? Sorry,
what?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the funny thing is like as much as I'm complaining about all the things I hate about it, it's still substantially better than my actual life. So I really can't complain that much.
Agreed. What were you guys saying about a face, Justin?
I was gonna say, Rob, did you ever go through the misery phase that me and Ryan that I'm currently going through, and that Ryan did go through?
No.
Or do you feel like you've been on up and up the entire time? Or like relatively positive?
Jay, we plateaued, but he was able to float around it by just donating like 10, 15 minutes a day. Right?
Yeah, I had my first like month in quarantine where I would wake up, do some work, and then sit on Animal Crossing for like 6 hours. And then for me, like, I enjoyed it. And then I just, I steadily declined with my time. And like Ryan says, eventually I optimized. And by like, I'd say May, I was probably just playing like 15, 20 minutes a day. And I've been like steadily with that. Like now I'll play it like maybe 2 times a week I'll pick it up. And I never had that like phase where I hated it. I've just been on like a nice steady decline.
Yeah. J-Wang, Rob has a thing called Control, which you and I don't have.
I think Rob also has experience, maybe the extra 15 years. Like, I haven't touched this since GameCube, which is 2001, so literally almost 2 decades. And Rob has had these like little milestones that have maybe prepared him for this moment to be like a Zen master.
I mean,
of this
I've
game.
waited 9 years for this one, so it's been a while.
That's also quite.
You know
long.
what's funny, J-Wang? You brought up the GameCube one. I'm looking back at this game and how economical it is with your resourcing, and middle school Ryan Hart was not economically sensible to take advantage of that with his DS Animal Crossing, because I fucking hated it. But meanwhile, this one now, I'm like, oh, I could just find a money rock. And also, like, this is why I do love the internet, how you go on Reddit. I subscribe to the Animal Crossing subreddit. People were discovering new tricks. I ignored, like, people doing the bugs, but there were a lot of tricks that I discovered via the forum. And that definitely helped improve my experience, because I let the kids who dedicated their lives to this game help me out.
On the contrary, that's one of my biggest issues with the game, is that I feel like the game is very, very, very designed to make you want to play multiplayer.
Is that bad?
You don't like that?
I think it's bad. I want to go into this island and have no social life.
But
I just want I don't want to need to interact with other people in order to get things for my island.
Well, this is Rich coming from the kid that slept with J-Wang.
Well, look, what Justin and I do when we're on each other's island is nobody's business.
What happens on the island stays on the island, Ryan, and that's none of your business.
It is between me, Justin, and Rald.
And if you want to come over later, Ryan, we can keep that between us.
I'd love to show you the things I can do with you on my island.
Oh, I will be right over, right after this call.
Sounds like a plan.
I was going to talk about the GameCube. The one thing I don't miss is Mr. Rossetti. Fuck that guy.
Oh my god. On the DS, it was even worse.
Okay, but that's what I miss. I miss NPCs. There are none in this game.
I might miss. I don't even remember NPCs that much. I remember there's a police dog. I don't even know why there was a jail. Was there a jail? I don't know.
No, it was a Lost and Found they ran.
Oh, okay.
Were there characters like in this one that randomly appear? Like the lizard guy, Red? Did they appear more often in previous games?
I mean, I felt like they did. But you also had more characters that were always there because you had the city. I mean, not in the GameCube one, but starting with, I think, the Wii and the 3DS, you had, like, the city, so you could buy your plants every day, you could buy your shoes every day, you had the salon, you had the fortune teller, you had, there were a few more, I can't remember exactly everything, but there were other people to go and see.
Right.
You didn't just have your 3 stops of Nook's Able Sisters Museum.
I think in the DS one, the Nook shop actually became like a huge department store over time, and I loved seeing that.
Right, and that's the thing. This game is going to have that eventually, but it's annoying that I have to wait for it.
Well, I thought that they had that in yours already.
What do you mean?
Oh, that's it? You have the same one that I have? That's terrible.
There's only one store upgrade right now in this game.
Okay, so
you have your first store, which is the shack, and then you get your second one, and then there's nothing after that yet. Where in other games it had
it got 2 floors. It was huge.
Yeah, maybe it got to like a 4th upgrade, and obviously that's going to happen at some point. But it's annoying that it's not in the game at launch. And a lot of people are defending this, but I think it's terrible. I don't like that they're dictating how we play the game. And if I never had an internet connection, the game that I got out of the box on launch day would have been easily the worst game in the series with the least amount of content.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you needed the internet to get updates. So I bought a copy for Anna, and she couldn't get the diving suit. I was like, why can't you get the diving suit? It took us like a couple weeks to figure out that she hadn't updated her Switch and connected to the internet.
Right. Exactly. And
and it really limits your gameplay.
100%. And I feel like
that's a great point.
I don't know why people defend that so much. I think objectively this game had the least amount of content at launch. And if you don't have access to the internet, you're stuck with a pretty barren game.
Yeah, they really could have invested the amount of time that they spent in creating 900 characters, whatever it is, into just developing the store, which I don't think would have taken that much time. It would have been standardized across.
I don't think it's a matter of time. I think
that's what I'm saying. You're saying it's a controlled thing, which I think I'm agreeing with at this point.
Well, J-Wing, and Rob, it's like what they're doing with Smash. They turned Smash Bros. Ultimate, prolonged it into a $100 game over the course of like 3 years.
They're making more money from that. That's the thing. Like, this game they're not charging these things. These are updates that are just updates. But we already... I hate that. They did the same thing with Splatoon, where they launched a $60 game with no content, and then they steadily finished the game after you had already paid for it.
So would you have rather have waited an extra 6 months and not have put in all the time that you did?
100%, yes.
Okay.
Interesting. I actually do like these subtle updates, because, I mean, for me, I took a break. I got back into it. I was like, whoa, there's diving. There are sharks now. There's more art for the museum. But then again, I did the hard stop with this game.
Well, no, you see, you actually bring up a good point, and all that stuff is new for you.
Right.
You've never had diving, you've never had red, you've never had those things. I've always had those things in Animal Crossing games. So once I get...
Oh, diving was a new...
It was in the 3DS one, yeah. So that wasn't new for me. That was just missing content.
Oh.
So for me, it's like, oh, finally, the thing I already played is in this game.
That sounds like purgatory. Wow.
Yeah, so you took 2 steps back. For us, it's new because we haven't played in 10 years or 20 years or whatever.
Exactly.
So,
yep.
Rob, you really are right. The Switch literally fucks loyal Nintendo fans.
Oh, yeah. It 100%
in every way possible.
Fuck off. We're building this to make more money with new people.
Also,
which I get, but I don't really love it.
Also, here's the Wii U catalog again.
Oh yeah, I bought a Wii U, and guess what? Every single game that I bought on the Wii U is released on the Switch, in lieu of me getting anything new on the Switch this year.
Yeah, that's... wow.
Like, oh boy, Pikmin 3. Didn't play that on the Wii U. Oh boy, Fire Emblem Tokyo whatever. Didn't play that on the Wii U.
Oh, Tokyo's on...
Oh boy. Xenoblade. Didn't play that on the Wii and the 3DS. Mario 64. I haven't played that 6 times.
But Sunshine.
Yeah, I'm psyched to play Mario Sunshine. I mean, come on.
But I get it. Yeah, that's so... Okay, now I really see where you're coming from. I did not know how much was in these previous games.
Yeah, and that's where my frustration comes in. I really enjoy this game. It looks gorgeous. It kept my attention, and it gave me something to do in that hellish March. But, looking at it from a standpoint, it could have been better if it was a full game from the start, like I'm used to.
Yeah, and basically, they probably have all these updates already in their backlog. It's scheduled on a calendar. If they just gave you all that in March, and then during the past 5 months, they were just developing actually new content.
Right.
Is the ideal world, or what they should have done.
By the way, this criticism isn't just of Nintendo. This is the game industry as it is now. I remember speaking with a game developer once, and he was saying how he was working on Far Cry 4 or something, or 3, whichever was the latest, and it just sucks how they rush the developers to put out a game that's bare bones, but the updates will come later in later months. It's the new culture of online updates, which I hate.
Well, I'm definitely with you on that.
But Nintendo, I will say, they do... No, never mind.
I mean, look, I understand the design. It's a design philosophy with Animal Crossing. They want this game to be played for multiple years, so if everything is there out of the box on launch, then, people won't play it for years. But why are you dictating how people play this game? If I want to rush through the game, you already got my money. Let me rush through the game.
Yeah. They're the true puppet masters.
It doesn't benefit them either. It's not like if I play this for 5 years or if I play this for 1 year, as long as I have a good experience, I will continue to be a loyal Animal Crossing fan.
Exactly.
Right? That should be the real mindset.
I mean, I think at the end of the day,
But-
big reason they're doing it like this is because they want to. I think the reason Nintendo is doing a lot of this in general is because they want to maintain their online platform. They want to give people a reason to keep paying to use Nintendo Online. So if people are continuing to play Animal Crossing over the course of years, that means that they're using, the multiplayer on Animal Crossing.
The $20 from a million people will accumulate into 20 million, if you think of it like that, right?
Yep. And also, I guess this does have to do with the fact like they plan on the Switch being their main console for a couple generations.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh, really?
I think we'll be getting a new Switch in about probably 3 years.
Yeah, but anyway, you're probably right. How did they handle holiday events in the previous Animal Crossing games? Because I remember
they were in the games at launch.
Because I remember when Bunny Day update happened and they announced it on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Why the fuck am I getting all these eggs from my rocks? I need my ores."
I'm pretty sure the past holidays were like restricted to 1 day for the most part. From what I remember. I actually like it. I like it better in this game because, like, I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but in years past, like, if I wanted a Christmas item, I'd have to, like, time travel to Christmas 70 times to get, like, the full catalog. And, like, with this, you could get every Easter item this one Easter season. Now, granted, the Easter event was god-awful dreadful in this game, but at least I could get everything from it in one season.
Right. Yeah, I like how I could at least grind. Like, I may not have built all of the Easter items, but I have a repository of eggs from grinding that I can build more if I want down the road.
Do you guys have the habit of just buying things that you don't need and just putting it in your storage bin saying, I might need this one day?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Now I do. Now that I have the storage. I didn't know that your storage in your house would exponentially increase after each upgrade.
I just feel like I've spent way too much time complaining for something that I'm probably going to give like a decent grade to.
Yeah, that's why I want to switch gears for a second and sort of get into a positive note. You guys want to talk about your islands a little bit, and then maybe one day we'll do a let's play of it and kind of give everyone a tour. But what are some of the design choices that makes this game unique for you? If you were to give us like a 2-minute virtual island tour.
I mean, the best part of this game is that you can place furniture outside and you can customize your landscape entirely. And for me, it's awesome. And you get the paths now, you get fencing. There's so much you can do to make your island unique to like what you want. And I really enjoy that about it.
What are some of your favorite features that you have on your island, Rob?
So for me, my villagers' houses are like nice and in a line. Like there's a lower level, then there's a second level, then there's a third level. So there's like 3 on one line, 4 on the next, 3 on the other, and it's very like nothing is like straight and in order. So it feels like it's very natural.
It's like an organized chaos.
It's organized chaos, and I really enjoy that. Like I have that. That aspect of it feels lived in. If there were more characters, it would feel more lived in, but like the overall aesthetic of it is nice and lived in.
I love your house, Rob. I mean, you have really made it feel like it's a place that you, as someone who I know, would live in. Like you have this very like simple, cozy living room, and you have your anime room where you have your box of tissues and lotion on the table. It really feels like something that your dream house would be in real life, something like that.
Right.
Well, what else do you have?
I have a library in the basement.
The Dojins?
Yeah, no, those are in my manga room.
The tissue room, as I like to call it.
I have 2 separate rooms. That's my pride and joy as well. My manga room, and I have a nice kitchen as well.
Oh, the kitchenette sets. Some of them are beautiful. I burned out myself my first tour of this game by stressing out the construction of my island, and I just gave up. I was like, fuck this. It was so overwhelming. But when I returned to it, I degraded my island so much that when I got back into it, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty set up. I quartered my island off into different themes. Like I have a forest in one section. I have like a little zen housey area in another. I have a sports section, and then I have pathways that just connect it all. Eventually, it all worked out when I came back to it. I just needed a break from the game, so that's why I've.
Do you know
really
what
been
you're going to
just
do next? Are
involved
you actually going to model after Whole Cake Island, or do you know what you're going to do with each of the sections?
So yeah, the thing is, like, now that I have all my pathways set, and I really want you guys to see my island, but now that I have the pathways down, if I can just find some themes online, because I tried making sprinkles, and I never really want anyone to ever see that design. But I'm hoping that I can find like pink cake design and then some frosting to like outline my pathways, and I really could make this island like pop like a cake. It's just a matter of time.
Dude, you could make it tiers too. Like you could make it into like you could build the land up and round off the edges and make it like an actual cake if you wanted to, right?
Well, I'm never going to do that. I know myself, but I will say that I do regret not being able to change my island name because I would have changed it. It's very simple, but I also it's like My Hero. It's basic, but it knows it's basic, so it's good.
Nice. Right now, I'm kind of just playing capitalism the game, and I just have like literally 50% of my island is covered in fruit trees. That way, every couple days I can have like $60,000 pocketed.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm building a Zen garden. I just got Bamboo Island for the first time a couple days ago, so I put like a hot spring and an onsen and the bamboo tree. So I'm gonna build that up. But
I love the bamboo trees.
yeah, they're so nice. I think I'm still working on what I want to do for design wise, and like I don't have any good furniture for my room, so they're just kind of like storage units right now. But I think watching Rob's room and Rob's island kind of like both inspired me and kind of broke my heart. I was like, oh my god, like this is what the standard should be. But then also like I can do this, like I can get to this level.
You'll get there one day, kid.
How many hours do you have in there, Rob?
200.
All right, I got about 150 hours to go.
You see, that's the thing, though. Like, I got 200 hours into this game. I really can't complain about content.
Yeah, as long as like it's the opposite. Like, even though I've done some complaining about this, it's kind of the opposite feeling of Octopath, because I sunk 80 to 90 hours into Octopath, and at the end I just felt empty. Sometimes I feel that way about Animal Crossing, but at the other times I just like look at my island with pride and be like, I created this. And
Yep.
it feels good. And then other days I'm just kind of nihilistic, and I'm just sort of like, what's the point? It's a virtual island.
Yeah, but that's real life, too.
Yeah, very true.
I guess that's just my perspective on everything, right?
Well,
So it's not that far off.
I think I'm the problem.
I think also with the Switch, what really made me love this game is that on the DS version, the graphics were just not that good. And I remember it being pretty dark overall.
Yeah, no, this game is beautiful.
But the game,
Honestly,
and
looks
the
gorgeous.
graphics, when I'm playing handheld, like, there is just little details sometimes that just are so wholesome. And I really have come to embrace the aesthetic of Animal Crossing for the Switch.
All right, I think we're ready to go into our rankings. What do you guys think?
Well,
Yeah, I have nothing more to say.
Okay.
I guess we'll have another follow-up podcast about furries.
About what?
What? We're not talking about furries, Ryan.
That's what I thought I heard.
Ryan, give us your ranking of the game.
Oh,
Tell me about furries. Now I'm curious.
No, I do not want to have this conversation.
This gets Rob a little bit too aroused.
look, let's
No,
let's
no.
be honest. Sable is better than Mabel.
Who's better,
Okay.
Isabel or Carrot, Rob?
I'm not having this conversation.
Great question, Joey.
Is there a secret folder I should be looking for that says not Isabel on your computer?
No, there's
I am not having this
a
conversation.
secret room you should be looking for in his house.
Yeah, the tissue box was looking kind of empty last time I checked.
Look,
Right.
Where are the video cameras? All right, I will give this game. Rob, you brought up a great point. Despite my criticisms of it and the period of inactivity where I bashed it, I've been balls deep back into it, and I gotta say I do love it. I'll give it an A.
Okay.
I can go next if you want, Rob.
Yeah, go for it, Justin.
I'll give it an A minus. I haven't even explored the whole game, but it's it's a good usage of time for a game, and it's gorgeous. The customization's amazing. There's some lifestyle things or quality of life things that could bump this game up. But as it stands, it's an A minus, and it could change once I make a beautiful island like you have, Rob.
Yeah. Where to start? Animal Crossing New Horizons is, for me, the worst game in the series as it stands right now.
It's worse than City Folk. It's worse than GameCube. It's worse than
the DS one.
No, I can't really back any of that up.
All right, if we're taking out the spin-offs, we're just talking about the 5 mainline.
The 3DS and GameCube beat it for me.
3DS and GameCube beat it. Okay.
Mm.
So this is right middle of the road for you.
It's right in the middle. The game is devoid of features that I'm used to. There's far less furniture options than past games. There's tedious activities in order to do simple tasks like fishing and catching bugs. There's no characters that I like. I give it a B+ still.
You don't like Isabel?
No, I mean there's so many gone.
Oh.
That I loved. Like Cap'n, Tortimer.
Oh wow. Now we just get that seagull guy.
You're right, the two whatever they are.
Gullivar.
No, Gullivar's here. I mean there's a Cap'n that would take you to like the minigame island, and that's where Tortimer was, and he had a whole family. He had kids, he had a wife, he had, I think there was a grandmother too. And it was just interesting. You had more characters, and they had more like interactions with each other, and you don't get that here.
Yeah, you only get it in little dialogue options, which don't even last longer than 2 weeks. You're right.
So that's what bumps it down for me. If I were to give the 3DS one New Leaf a grade, I would probably give it an A. But the lack of all of the things that game has is what brings down to a B+ for me.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Which is still a great score.
Oh yeah, across the board, we all gave it an A, except Rob.
We didn't. I gave it a B+.
That's literally not true, Ryan. But I think that's fair. I think I could also be convinced. I think it would depend on my day. I could be convinced to bring it down to a B+ also. But that's fair, Rob, especially considering all that you've lived through.
Yeah, my past
Okay,
my past is really what gives this the score of a B+. If I had no experience with this game, it would probably be higher.
Okay, fair. Well, thank you guys for joining us again today. Before we head out, just want to shout out our email, sclasspodcast@gmail.com. If you guys want to shoot us a message and ask us any questions, we're happy to. And I think in the future, I think it would be really exciting if we did a Let's Play and showed off all of our islands. So I think we can set that up for a future podcast episode.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Thanks, guys, for coming, and we'll chat next time.
See you again later.
Have fun inside.